What's up, guys? This is In the Corner with Destiny McCubbin, and today I'm sitting down with an absolute stud in the ring, Aiden Zeus Garcia.
Beautiful. Pleasure to be here.
What's up, Aiden? How we doing?
I'm feeling great. What about you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to sit down and talk with you, learn about your career, your journey. You've had a long, short career. You're so young. So let's go ahead and dive into it.
Beautiful.
I want to take it back.
Okay.
What drew you to boxing? How old were you when you started?
Okay, so I was 6 or 7 when I really first got that spark for boxing, right? I'd never took it serious, kind of more just my dad holding mitts for me, watching YouTube videos, things like that. And then I really started taking it serious when I was around 13. I wasn't a good kid, right? I kind of was going down the wrong path.
That's all right.
So then I remember I got caught up. I was in juvie, and then when I was in juvie, I was kind of like, damn, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, why am I here? And then I went to church. At church, they were doing this activity, and it was like, okay, where do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, well, I want to be a boxer. He's like, funny enough, I actually know a boxing coach. No. And then, ever since that moment, I started boxing, and I haven't been out of the gym for more than a week ever since 13 years old.
I love that. And you're 19 now, right?
20.
20. All right, so we're going on 7 years, dedicated. I absolutely love that. So boxing saved your life.
Absolutely. I don't know where I'd be without boxing.
I love that so much. I think a lot of people can relate to that. And it's a good thing too, like just to show people, like, if you're in that down place, if you're, you're not doing great in life, like if there's always a turnaround.
Absolutely. It's mental, it's physical, right? If you're just mad at the world, right? Something's going wrong in your life, you're not getting that promotion you wanted, your girlfriend broke up with you, right? Everyone has their own personal reasons, 100%. But there's no better feeling than taking it out on a bag, right? Maybe even someone's face. You might have a great talent that you never realized. It's mental. It'll get you in good shape. You'll be confident and proud of who you are. So many positives I can't even.
And you know, like I one thing I love about it too, just combat sports in general, or people that compete or train combat sports, is like you said, you weren't living the best life. Maybe you were fighting or whatever, but when you start actually training and competing, wouldn't you say it kind of actually makes you more of a peaceful person?
Absolutely.
You're not out here just because you can box trying to fight people.
Absolutely.
It really tames you.
Because when you get used to sparring, there's no like, oh, like, it's like, bro, I do this every day. Like, it takes, I don't want to say the fun out of it, but there's no point to fight. I'm not trying to prove something.
Exactly. It takes that ego out of it,
Absolutely,
right?
yeah.
Yes.
Because everybody in boxing has been humbled once or twice.
I was just going to say, when you walk into a gym, you're probably going to be humble.
Like, hey, guys, how's it going?
Yeah, you guys tell people, check your ego out the door.
Exactly.
And you said your dad would hold for you. Is this like a family thing?
I wouldn't say a family thing, but he definitely is like my motivation. Yeah. I'd be thinking I'm doing good. I'd come home from sparring and be like, Dad, I did so good. And I'll show him the video. He's like, you need to do better. You need to do this. You need to do that. That's kind of kept me level-headed. Yeah. So
we need that.
He's more of a mental coach than anything.
Okay.
Not so much as a boxing coach. I mean, he talks his shit. Don't get it wrong. But more of a mental coach than anything.
100%. Is he still pretty involved?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he doesn't live in Vegas now. He lives in Utah. But every time I fight, I'll call him up. He'll watch my fights live. He'll be like, Aiden, I think you did good. He's like, I think you need to jab a little more. Things like that.
Of course.
But I'm not like my official coach or anything.
Yeah.
More mental than
anything. Has he had the chance to come watch you fight live?
Absolutely,
These pro fights?
Actually, no, not for the pro fights. Not just yet. Because I just started.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been there for amateur fights. But pro, we've been traveling. So it's been in South Carolina and Connecticut, things like that. So I haven't had any home turf yet.
All right, and we go by Zeus.
Yeah.
Tell me the story. Where'd Zeus come from?
So, believe it or not, when I was a kid, I used to almost make like an alter ego for myself. Like whenever I was about to ride a roller coaster, ask a girl out, like something that I kind of needed to name for. Yeah. I needed an alter ego, right? Absolutely. Like, okay, like Aiden, he might be, a little shy, he might be funny, might be a nice guy, but Zeus, he's not such a nice guy, right? He'll get things done. He does what needs to be done, and I've always just been a huge fan of Greek mythology. Okay. And the big dog in Greek mythology is Zeus, right? He's 100%. the shot caller. He's the one who gets everything done. He's the king of kings. Okay,
I like it. You just put a whole new energy on Zeus. For you. Like now when I see you, I'm just like, Zeus is gonna, like, that's all I'm gonna think of now.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Of course. And what is your background? You say you're into Greek mythology, but what is yours? Are you Mexican, Puerto Rican?
Yeah, that's exactly what I am. Mexican, Puerto Rican.
Okay, so you got that dog.
Hey, I try to.
You got Mexican and Puerto Rican heart.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Say less. Say less.
I'm ready.
And you're a Vegas local?
Yeah, I was born and raised.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. How would you say that being born and raised here has bred you into the fighter that you are today? Because this is a tough town.
Yeah, I was about to say Vegas is honestly the fight capital of the world, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's the toughest competition. I used to live in Arizona for 3-4 years during high school, from like 8th grade to junior year, and that's when I got in trouble, like we talked about. But Vegas, there's no competition. Like even when I was in Arizona, it was good. Don't get it wrong, but just different. Like the boxing scene, there's so many top names. You could be walking down Fremont, you're like, is that Floyd Senior? Like, it's like, you know what I mean? He'll be everywhere. You'll see all these top guys and all these names.
That's so true. It's so funny because I was at an MMA show a couple months back, and I'm walking out of the show through the hotel, and standing, lo and behold, right there in the Starbucks line, Mayweather.
See, I'm telling you, it's just a small town that you'll see. There's no way you're not going to see some type of boxer, fighter.
100%.
It's great competition here.
100%. And there, like you said, like this town is full of talent, boxing talent, fight talent. Period. Yeah. You kind of already asked my question, but what would you say sets Vegas apart from the rest of the whereabouts in the world, as far as boxing culture goes?
I would say the level of competition, right? It's almost like being thrown in a pack of wolves. You can't be the weak link. So when you have all these sharp people around you, you can't be like, oh well, I'm all right. These guys are good, but like it's competitive. So this guy's here. It's like, oh, I got to get to that level. Then you meet someone who's even better than you. It sharpens you up because you're around the best level of competition. You can't be the weak link, otherwise it's kill or be killed.
You get weeded out.
Exactly.
Like the weakness will show eventually.
Absolutely.
You can't hide
only
it.
The strong survive, right? So you have to.
That part.
Yeah, seriously.
Yes, you said it, champ. You said it. So you've been fighting. Let's talk about amateur career. How long how old were you when you started your amateur career?
I would say 13. That's when I really started committing. Like I was like, okay, I want to fight. I want to train. This is going to be my life, right? I think I had my first fight when I was 14, and then a little bit after that, COVID hit. So I remember I had one fight.
That's so right.
Yeah. So I had one fight. And I lost my first fight, and I was like, "Damn!" So then I remember after I lost, I was like petty, like I'm not about to lose again.
Zeus is out.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I was like, this is not gonna happen. So then I remember COVID happened, and I was like, bro, I'm 0-1 right now. So it was embarrassing. So I was in the garage training. You know, gyms were closed, so I'm kind of just grinding on my own. And then by the time I had my second fight, I'd already sparred Tank at that point. There was so much that happened from the first fight to the second fight. There was like a 2-year hiatus. But in that time, I was doing nothing but preparing.
Lovely.
So by the time I had my second fight, I was already levels above everybody else.
Wow,
like it was.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was set.
See, that says so much about you as a fighter and a person. Like some people, they taste that loss, they might not come back.
Yeah,
it's tough. It's gonna do one thing or the other, and it did the other for you.
It shows you who you are. Absolutely, boxing will show you what you're made of. You know what I mean?
100%.
So
this ain't a game.
Yeah, when I lost, I mean, it was embarrassing. Like I had people watching me. I'd been training so hard. I at that point, I mean, it's only been a year by the time I had my first fight, but I thought I dedicated my life. I was like, bro, I did it. I did everything. Like I was training, I was cutting weight, and just to have my heart smashed to pieces like that, the worst feeling possible.
That's the thing about this game, and I always kind of touch on this, is it's an unforgiving sport.
Absolutely.
You give and you give and you give, and it takes, and it don't give a shit.
No, it doesn't. It's one of the toughest sports.
But you show up every single day and you do it. Why?
Yeah.
Because you love it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's weird because I love it. I get punched in the face. Like to explain to an outsider, they wouldn't understand. Like I could be like, "Yo, what do you do?" Well, I mean, I punch people in the face. I get punched. Don't you think it's scary?
Aren't you scared
civilians?
of this?
Yeah, exactly. Civilians, they don't understand the adrenaline rush, the pump, the rush from winning, right? Landing a good shot and being like, "Oh, I got him."
That high.
Yeah, exactly. It's a high. It's like it's like a flow state.
But that's the thing, is like when the fact that you taste that and you feel that in those moments is why you're a fighter.
Absolutely.
Because the next person, the regular civilian, might not feel that, but like that's why there's such a small percentage of combat athletes, boxers, fighters.
Yeah,
it's not for everyone. It's not a game. It's not sport. Like this is real shit.
Yeah.
You can die in there.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, people can try it, right? Like they can do boxing for fitness.
Of course,
there's respect to that. But if you like step in the ring, you spar. Not everybody has that same mindset. Like you have to have somewhat of a predator mindset. Like you have to like, oh, I'm going for it, rather than being like, oh, this guy's gonna swing on me, I'm scared. You know what I mean? You're flinching, you're doing all this.
Yeah.
It's even like the first time you spar, that's natural. It's gonna happen. But to build the habit of when someone's punching you, trying to knock your head off, to keep your eyes open, to do things like that, it's a trained skill. It's not like anybody was just born with the natural ability to do that. You have to go through that barrier.
So after that first loss, and then you took that year, and then you came back, was it kind of like after that back to back to back? Because I know in amateur boxing you can fight every weekend.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's kind of what it was. I remember I stacked. It wasn't too much. Like people have done more, but I think I got 11 or 12 fights within that year. Like I was like boom boom. So at least once a month I was fighting.
Yeah.
And then especially once I got that win, that confidence built up. I was like boom boom, and I won I don't want to say relatively easily, but I won clearly. Like I was like, okay. Then I did again, and I won again, and then I won my first tournament, and then I won the Gene Lewis, and then I started winning these kind of big, somewhat tournaments, and I was like, oh, okay,
Gene
I
Lewis
built that
is a
confidence.
tough tournament.
It was.
I mean, there's a lot of dogs out there.
Absolutely,
It's Phoenix, Arizona.
My heart was pounding. I was like, I was nervous, but got the victory.
I had the opportunity to compete in
really? How was
years
that?
ago. It was good. I won my first fight and then lost.
Oh, okay. Hey, no, it's all good, but it's that experience.
It is, and it's like it's tough out there.
Exactly, and the tournaments is where you can win numbers of fights, like 3 fights in a row, 2 fights.
Yes.
Like that's where you get the numbers up.
1000%, and it's just such a cool experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, like going and fighting, and then having to turn around and go fight again.
Yeah.
Like, to get your mind right
to
again.
win, and then be like, okay. Yeah. Then that adrenaline feeling is like, okay, it humbles you.
Or waking up, am I fighting today?
Yeah. Oh my God. You don't even know.
That means I still can't eat.
Yeah, that's the worst. Honestly, that's the worst part. Cutting weight. I love to fight, but cutting weight is like, I'm a foodie. You know what I mean? I love to go all these Roberto's and all the Vegas local spots. My TikTok is full of food. So then when I'm like cutting weight, I'm just sitting there watching people eat food. I'm like, yeah. So that's literally the worst part.
How many amateur fights did you have?
40.
40? Yeah, okay, that's good. That's a good amount.
I mean, 40 is a good amount, don't get it wrong, but some of these top guys have like 200, 300. Yeah,
yes,
so
yes.
40 is like,
I get you.
You're all right. You know what I mean?
No. And then, so you had 40, and then you just recently went pro? Is
Absolutely.
That
correct? Yeah.
Okay.
Just turned pro.
Cool.
With Team Combat League, with TCO.
Team Combat League.
Yeah.
I'm glad we brought that up. I'm very intrigued about Team Combat League. I'm a boxing fan through and through, but I just don't quite understand it, and I bet you a lot of the other fight community doesn't either. So can you give us some insight on it?
Absolutely.
How does it work? What is it exactly?
Yeah, I'd love to. So basically what Team Combat League is, think of it almost as like tag team boxing, all right?
Okay.
So each fighter doesn't go more than 2, maybe 3 rounds at max, but there's spurts, right? So you have 3 minutes to somewhat establish your dominance, right? You have 3 minutes, ding ding, you got 1 round, you got to win. It's I don't want to say street fight, but it's a high pace, right? Like people are in there brawling, trying to get that win for their team.
Really? Okay.
And then the next round, 2 new fighters are in. Next round, 2 new fighters are in. They go by weight class, so they'll start light, go heavy, and then there's there's the launch rounds, kind of the beginning. The first, I think it's 9 rounds, and then the next 9 rounds, or the middle rounds, 18. Then there's the money rounds, which is at the end, kind of like, okay, we could be tied now. You gotta go win for the team.
Right.
So it's a tag team. It's a team sport, almost like in wrestling.
Oh, so if you're that last fight and you're tied, it's like pressure.
Oh my God! That's literally what happened to us. We went against the Phoenix Fury, right? Las Vegas Hustle versus Phoenix Fury. We were going down, and it was getting to the nail. And then last round, it was a tie. Like literally, our guy. Okay, so last round, our guy lost, and then that made it a tie. So it's 224 to 224. We go into the overtime round. We're like, all right. It was our guy Osville. We're like, Osville, we need you to win this round. Yeah. And he's a multi-time Cuban national champion. He's a gold medalist, actually. So he's good. Right. So we're like, all right, just do your thing, do what you. He's boxing. He's doing good. He's winning the round, right? Boom! He drops him, and we're like, "Oh, we won! We did it!" We're like, kind of like, good. He has 10 seconds. Like nothing's gonna happen, right? He gets in there, bing, he got dropped. We're like, "Yo!" It was the craziest round, I think, maybe in TCL history. Right? So he dropped him, got dropped, and it was an 8-8 round. So then we went into a double overtime with someone else, and the same pressure's on him. We're like, "Bro, listen, we need to win this. Like, we're undefeated. We cannot lose our O. Yeah. We need to go out and represent." 100%. It was Dislon. Dislon went out there and he boxed. He did his thing. He's sharp. Yeah, he laid it down for the team. We got the win, and we're still undefeated to this day. So,
shit! Okay, and you're Las Vegas Hustle.
Las Vegas Hustle. That's our team.
All right, cool. Hell yeah! And that's who's the coaches for the team?
Big Dave.
Big Dave.
Yeah. From TCL. Yeah, from Split T.
Okay, cool. And so how many rounds? So how many people are on the team? Let's say that.
16, I believe. Yeah, 16.
And everybody's fighting?
Yeah.
So you're going there's gonna be 16 rounds.
Yeah, almost. There will be some exceptions, like if one of their guys pulls out and you don't have another fighter at that weight class. I believe there's 2 each weight class. So there's 2 135, 2 126, 2 heavyweights, 2 cruiserweights, things like that. So it's 2 fighters in each, so we can mix around.
And is there like you're undefeated? So is there like an end game? Like is there like a championship?
Yeah. So right now, Vegas Hustle and Philly Smoke are doing the best. We're the 2 teams leading, and then what will happen is we'll go to playoffs. And in playoffs, it's do or die, right? If you lose, you're eliminated. So we could be doing, in theory, right? Vegas Hustle could be doing very well, but if we lose in the first round of the playoffs, it's kind of like wraps, right? But we go to the playoffs. If you win playoffs, then you go to the championship, and then that's kind of like the winner of TCL. That's the best city when it comes to boxing. That's the Las Vegas Hustle is the best city versus Philadelphia versus whoever. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So what is there like a winning prize, like money wise? You don't have to tell me like the purse wise, but is there like is it money? Is it a trophy? What's the winner?
I do believe there's a trophy, and I think there is.
Of course, some money.
Yeah,
of course, some money, right? We all here for the bag.
there is a bonus, but more than anything, it's the trophy, and then kind of like knowing that you're repping your city and you're the best.
Oh
city.
yeah, absolutely.
So,
that's enough, right? We don't do it. Now we're doing it for the money. You know, you're in a place in your career where you're doing it for the money, but at the end of the day, it's still here.
That's winning is
enough.
That honor, that legacy.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Just being like, I'm the best city.
Okay, so how long has TCL been around? I know it's new.
Yeah,
this is their season?
No, this is their third season.
Third season.
Yeah, so third season. I don't know exact. The season started sometime in February or March.
Okay.
And it's May right now, about to be June.
Yep.
So.
How long does it go? When's the championship?
August. Yeah, so around August it ends.
So it's a good little season. It's a good season where you guys are fighting, competing. That's so good for you, for boxers and competitors, because sometimes it's hard to find fights. So this is keeping y'all busy.
Absolutely.
You're getting paid.
Good
exposure. You're in the gym. Good exposure. Good experience.
Absolutely.
You're fighting all different levels every time you go to a new team, right?
Absolutely.
That's amazing. I've like this literally just answered all my questions and made it even way cooler to me. I was already intrigued by the whole concept of TCL, but now I'm like, wow, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's amazing.
And yeah, like the third season, I feel like a lot of people don't know about it yet. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see it keep growing.
It's gonna get the ball rolling, especially because we're starting to get some big name fighters in there, like Andrew Tabiti's fighting in there. There's a couple of huge names that you would see, and you'd be like, he's doing TCO, and then you're almost like, whoa, it's a new wave. You know what I mean? So it's starting out, and it's great exposure, right? Like you said, good experience. You're going against these top guys. It doesn't go on your record as well. So I actually haven't had a pro debut yet, because a pro debut is 4 rounds. Yeah. Okay. So I went straight from amateur to this. This is my first pro experience. So by the time I have that first pro fight that would go on my record, I'll already have rounds in the bag. Yeah, that experience. So by the time I start having those 4 round, 6 round, 8 round fights, I've already been doing it for however long.
So this is like high level smokers, basically.
Absolutely. That's exactly what it is.
You're fighting. Like, it's not a smoke. You're fighting. This is a real fight. And then, like you said, it's high level people. People are out there getting knocked out. Yeah. You know, I've been seeing it. But it's not going on your record. That's
it's a great experience. Yeah, that's exactly. It doesn't go on your record. You do represent the team, right?
Yeah, of
so
course.
The team will have a record, but personally, like if I do lose my round, it's not like I'm 0-1.
Which is great for you, and then great for your resume. Even like when you start getting looked at by these big promotions, Top Rank, stuff like that. They're gonna look at your resume and say, okay, well, you don't have a losing record, obviously, regardless, but you competed with some of the best. You've been bumping with some of the best. So
and they can watch the highlights. They can watch it. Go back on YouTube.
That's amazing, and it shows for you, especially at such a young place in your career.
I think it's a great thing. It gives me that experience, that confidence. So by the time I have my first 4 round fight, it's like, dude, I've been doing this. You know what I mean?
And how did this opportunity come about?
So honestly, one of my coaches, Chris, he had an opportunity. He's like, hey, these guys are looking for a 135 pounder, and it was offered to my teammate, Jose.
Oh yeah, keep going. Sorry.
No, you're good. And it was offered to my teammate, Jose. And then Jose, I think, had another fight planned, or he didn't want it to intersect with this, so he respectfully declined. And then I was still amateur, so I was like, hey, Chris, you let me know if you need me. He's like, would you? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I would love to. And then it was actually kind of in the talks. It started as a joke, me just being like, hey, I'll do it. He's like, I mean, do you want to? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I would love to do it. He's like, all right. And then he texted me later that night. He's like, hey, at 12 o'clock, we have a tryout for TCL. You're going to spar some of the guys. They're going to see if you can hang with them. And then I sparred their guys. I did good, right? I impressed them.
Let's go.
And then, boom, I got that little welcome to Las Vegas hustle. They sent the contract, sent everything, signed it, and then here I am.
What's tryouts like?
It was intense. You only go 1 round, but you have that 1 round to like
show out.
Yeah, exactly. If you go in that 1 round, you're hesitant.
Are people knocking people out of tryouts?
Yeah. I mean, not like to the death, but they're trying to. You know what I mean? We have a pretty good team. Our almost entire team is like.
Oh, so you're sparring each other. You're sparring your team.
Yeah, each other. I mean, I sparred the guys that were already on there.
That's still they're good.
Yeah, I joined a little bit late, so they already had another guy. I don't know too much information about him. They had someone else, and then For some reason, he left, and then they needed another 135-pounder, and then that's where I came in. Then they're like, okay, let's see what this Aiden guy's got. They saw me. They're like, all right, let's invite him to the team, and then boom, it goes from there.
That's amazing. That's got to do a lot for you.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, for you, like
absolutely,
like,
absolutely.
And good for you to jump on opportunity.
Hey,
like not even like some people would be scared.
I mean,
like,
honestly,
being young,
I was.
I'm sure. Well, that's
the night before. I was
you gotta
like,
do it scared.
Yeah, I was
shit,
literally.
You gotta do it scared.
I couldn't sleep. I remember watching fights, and I'm like. I'm telling you, I'm like in my boxers chilling, and I'm like watching the fight. It's like 2 a.m. I'm like, I gotta start. I gotta just make sure I'm sharp. You know what I mean? I can't just rest. It's almost like a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Oh yeah, 100%. I get it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I love it. I love this for you. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a blessing for sure. You're not just a fighter though.
Mm-hmm.
You are a trainer and a coach.
Absolutely, yeah.
How long you been doing that?
Actually, not that long.
Okay.
I've been doing it for, I would say 8 to 10 months, so almost a year, which I guess is a little bit more time than I thought.
Okay.
But it originally started as just something to replace my 9-to-5 job, so I can stay in the gym, right? Because it's a distraction when you have to do work. You're getting off your shift, and then you're
you're tired.
Yeah, you're tired. You don't really want to give your all. You're making excuses to not train. But when you're in the gym consistently, you're coaching, and I believe coaching makes you a better fighter. Because when you see someone throw a jab wrong, you have to explain every way, like twist the elbow up, do this. Yeah, you have to correct it over and over. And then when you start training, you can almost coach yourself, right? You're like, boom. You're like, no, it's not right.
Do you notice?
Absolutely.
More things.
Absolutely.
More errors.
Yeah. Well, when I'm training, like I'll throw a right hand, I'll be like, I'm leaning slightly forward, like twist. I got to bring my shoulder back.
No, that's amazing.
It improves you as a fighter, and you have a different way of making money. So you stay in the gym, you're thinking about boxing. It's better to surround yourself in this environment, because a lot of people, they can't commit themselves, right? They do have a job, they do this, and then they can't focus on boxing. They can't. They have their work just called them in. They have to put their dreams on hold.
Yeah, and like this game don't wait for nobody. You know?
Yeah, literally.
And yeah, you gotta put the time in when you can. It says a lot about you're kind of an old soul. I get a vibe that you got like an old soul, because like to be a coach, that was one of my questions I want to ask you. Like to be a coach is a skill in and of itself, you know, and you don't see a lot of young coaches. Like obviously you're not coaching to train people to fight. You got your own career that you're worried about, but a lot of younger fighters are selfish, as they should be, focused on themselves, you know. But the fact that you're putting time into other people and helping other people says a lot about you. And yeah, I was going to say that too. Like it's gotta transition into your own training.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I do want to know, what's your vibe of coaching versus your vibe of training? Like when you're coaching others and you're training others.
It does depend on their goals, right? Because you have to ask, like, okay, well, what are you doing this for? Like some people do want to lose weight. Some people just want to know how to defend themselves. Right. Some people do want to compete, right? So you have to tell them, like, okay, if you want to compete, then you got to train them kind of a little bit more serious. But if they just want to lose weight, they drop their hands like, hey, keep the hand up, buddy. Keep the hand up. You know
you're not slapping with
yeah. But if it's a fighter and they're dropping their hand, I'm like, do it again.
Yep.
And then the best teacher is pain, right? So you take a shot. Like if you're sparring, you have that hand down, boom, you get rocked.
Guarantee you ain't drop it again.
Damn right? So that's the number one teacher, but you have to kind of base it off what their goals are and what they can handle.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%.
Beautiful.
100%. So you kind of are living the camp lifestyle because of TCL being every other weekend or whatever.
Yeah, they do.
But I feel like even other than that, you're just living this lifestyle.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
So you're not like, I was gonna say like, what's a day in camp life for you? But really, what's a day in training life like for you?
Okay,
walk me through it.
So I'll wake up on certain days of the week. It kind of depends. I'll do strength and conditioning. Okay. All right, strength and conditioning.
Is that here?
LVAC. We just go to LVAC with my coach Chris. He's fucking brutal. Like I'll be honest, I wake up 7 a.m. I'm like, well, we have to be there at 7, so I wake up 6, but like I don't want to do this, and then you kind of have to
6.
Yeah. So then you have to wake up and kind of like mentally like, you got this. That's when I become Zeus. I'm like, come on, Zeus. You know what I mean? Like you got to dog it out. Like champions don't complain; they just work hard. 100%. Right? So then you go to training. He kills me. But then after the workout, you always feel good. You're like, all right, I got it out the way. Life will be easier from here.
Yes.
Then I come back to the gym, train whatever clients I may have planned. Boom, boom. When it's my training time, that's strictly, okay, focus up. I got the little focus setting on my phone, right? Nobody's bothering me. Stay focused on training with my coach. I do train with the TCL team as well. Okay. They have some great guys over there. Oh, yeah. Man, I'm telling you, the competition over there is elite. I would like to consider myself a good boxer, but those guys are on another level. Yeah, they make me uncomfortable. Like 100%. I'm like, they're good. They're doing stuff, and I'm like, how the hell do you
got Dave. Dewey Cooper over there,
absolutely
running these practices.
Literally beautiful.
Yeah,
they're great.
top
level. And then here at this gym
blessing
as
for
well.
you, of course. Yeah.
So I'm getting the best of both
You
worlds.
really
I'm learning here, I'm learning there, and I'm just trying to be a student of the game.
I love it.
At the end of the
That's
day.
what you got to do.
Absolutely.
And that's why you are where you're at.
Thank you.
All right, so I do want to get into boxing a little bit, just boxing world right
Beautiful.
now,
Let's do
you
it.
know, and kind of get your input on how you feel about it. You hear a lot of people saying boxing is dead, and like us, we grew up watching, you know, Mayweather, Pacquiao.
Yeah, the top fights.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful, the top fights. Best fighting the best.
You know, exactly.
The best.
And now, you know, we've got Canelo, top of the game. You know, the main man. His past fight was Skull.
Yeah.
You know, that whole weekend of fights is kind of garbage.
Yeah,
you know, how do you feel about where boxing is right now?
Okay, so I think we're starting to get out of that little hump, and
okay.
I love Mayweather. He's one of my favorite fighters. He's one of the sharpest to ever do it in my eyes.
Yeah.
But him being 50-0, a lot of people aim to be that, and in trying to be 50-0, they were kind of hesitant to take on that level of competition, right? So they're not wanting to fight the best. Like there was a while, like I would say 2, 3, 4 years back, there was a while where Devin Haney wouldn't want to fight Ryan Garcia, right? Because he wants his O. Yeah. Where all these top fights are not happening. But then, you know, Turkey Al-Sheikh came in, he started paying these fighters a lot of money. They're starting to fight the best versus the best, and you're starting to see who's real and who's not, right? Right. Like Devin Haney, we know what happened with him and Ryan, right? And then Ryan got cooked by Rolly. So it's a really interesting matchup. Now I want to see Devin Haney and Rolly. Yeah. Right? Like all these matchups are starting to become a possibility. Absolutely. And that's all due to Turkey Al-Sheikh. He's a great guy. He's making these fights happen.
He is, and he's paying money.
Yeah, that's what it is. He's making these fighters fight.
And that's why it's like, yeah, like fight, bro. Like you're making $3 million, bro. And you're running. You're running. That's crazy. Come on, give the fans what they want and do it for yourself too.
You can kind of tell in the way that they're fighting, because like, for example, a fight that just happened recently, Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank. They got paid a lot, don't get it wrong, especially with Turkey. But they genuinely didn't like each other. Like, there was actual bad blood. I think they would have done it for free, right? If they found each other on the streets, they would have fought. Because the way they were fighting, it was personal. They were cracking. Ooh. He's getting hit. He's coming back. So you love those fights? Yeah, it was like you could see that they both wanted it so badly. Yes. And then against a fight like Devin Haney versus Jose Ramirez or Canelo versus Skull. They got paid. Skull didn't really want to fight Canelo. He didn't want that, but when he got the money, he's like, all right, I'll go in there and I'll survive. I'll move. I'm gonna exactly. So, yes. Because if he survives, he gets that money, and now he's good. He doesn't have to worry about anything ever again. His kids are good. Good. You know what I mean? Exactly. So, and it's like that thin line between surviving and then also you want to go out there and like we're fighters. We're fighters. You know, you want to go out there and just fight. You gotta fight like your old school. Exactly. Fight like your old school, because they didn't get paid much, but they were fighting for honor. You know what I mean? There's different cloths and. Back our fighters that we grew up watching, and then Canelo, Gabe Rosado, even Terrence Crawford. Like these are all fighters cut from the same cloth. And I think, and I'm nobody to talk shit, but Skull, I think maybe not cut from the same. So fighters like that, maybe not. Yeah. But and then like I actually read these numbers that whole weekend of Cinco de Mayo weekend, all those, we had Teofimo Lopez, we had Canelo, all those people. Ryan, everybody fought, and between all the men that fought that weekend, threw less punches than Amanda Serrano did in her fight versus Katie Taylor. That was one of the most. I think they're fighting a third time now, right? Yep, Katie Taylor, Serrano Taylor 3 going down. I believe July 12th at MSG. That's gonna be insane. Yeah, that was one of the best fights I've seen, and honestly, do you think it was a robbery? I think so. Me too. I watched it back Serrano like 3 or 4 times, 3 times, 3.5 times. You would know better than me. I watched it that time, and I remember thinking, I was like, okay, she had the cut. She powered through. I think she got the headbutts, bro. Yeah, the ref got to take a point from that. Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Taylor also. Yeah, they're both great fighters. Phenomenal. And then I don't know if you know much about the card that they're fighting on. Like, so it's all female card. Yeah, that's sick. No, I heard about it. I don't know too much about the actual females, but I did hear it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be such a dope card. They've got Baumgartner. Alicia Baumgartner. Baumgartner. We got her on the card. We got Sarah Marshall on the card. God. This is gonna be a good great card. Yeah, Clarissa isn't on the card, which kind of surprised me, or Mayor, but I know that they're top ranked. So, yeah. But yeah, exactly. But I'm so excited for the card. It's gonna be amazing. I really hope Amanda gets it done. I hope she gets it done with the judges this time. Yeah, because she fought her. Both of them honestly fought their heart out. Like watching that fight, I was like, dude, it's amazing. You don't see men fighting like that. I was about to say that was better than any men fight. Like they were we're not just talking history between females, we're talking history of boxing in general. Yeah, exactly. I don't Do you know how many punches were thrown? I don't know.
It was like it was like 290.
I mean,
in that.
Yo, all 3 fights already. You said were outdone by Amanda. That's insane.
Literally.
Yeah, 3 fights.
Yeah, that's insane, bro.
Yeah, that's
insane work.
That's historical. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously. That means in one round they probably threw the same as like 1 fight.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
because Devin wasn't throwing, Ryan wasn't throwing.
So, like I said, historical between men and women, just in boxing in general. But this fight card that they have coming up is making history because it's an all-women card, and like all these women are making so much money. They're paying these girls, you know, which is amazing to see. Amazing,
it's beautiful.
How do you feel about Terrence Crawford and Canelo? What's your take?
That's gonna be a good fight. All right, Canelo, he's the GOAT of the game. He's been in it longer. He's got the experience. He's the heavier fighter. But I do think he's starting to slow down a little bit. I don't think he's the same Canelo that he was 3-4 years ago.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, and Canelo's, I mean, actually, I didn't even know this, to be honest, but Crawford's actually older than Canelo. But Canelo has more boxing age to him. Because Canelo's been boxing pro since he was 15. And he's, 33 now? So that's more than half of his life professionally boxing, fighting. How many times a year? He's staying ready. I think his body's starting to take a toll. And you can tell when he's training, he's not... I'm sure he still has the power, but I'm not sure if he has the same trigger. You know what I mean? Like that boom. Rather than Crawford, who is more of a boxer, right? He doesn't rely on the power. He doesn't rely on that. He's skillful. Yeah. So
and he's got it in him.
He does. He has the power.
Coming. He's getting paid, but he's coming to fight.
He does. He
he's
really
coming
is.
For this W.
And he has all the tools necessary, right?
100%.
You can compare him to Floyd. And I'm not saying that he's a better fighter than Floyd. I don't think he'd beat Floyd. I think Floyd is
the best.
The
GOAT.
But like style wise, like Terrence Crawford's good on the back foot. He can hit and not get hit. Honestly, I do love Canelo. He's one of my favorite fighters. I think if it was 3 years ago, he might have won. I think he actually would have definitely won. But now I'm starting to see his training. He's slowing down a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be completely surprised if Terrence can pull off the upset and outbox him.
It'd be insane.
And honestly, if Terrence Crawford does, he has to be one of the greatest fighters in history. like he has to.
You ain't lying.
That's an accomplishment. To be Canelo, to go up that many weight classes
Literally.
And outdog the big dog, that's like a movie.
It is, but it's not far-fetched either.
Yeah, it can be.
It can happen.
I'm so excited. And
I'm excited too.
It's here in Vegas, like Allegiant Stadium.
When is it? It's September.
September 12th, I believe.
Shit, we should try to go.
Hey, I'm down. Okay. That's a historical match.
We're gonna try. We're gonna try to be up in there.
Hell yeah.
All right, coming back to you. I just wanted to get into boxing a little bit because all that stuff has been on my mind, and I know that you're the one to talk about it.
Let's do it.
But let's talk mentality versus physicality.
Okay.
You're obviously physical. You're fighting these fights with the top dogs, top level. What about mentality though? How because you know that you have to train your mental just as much as you have to train
maybe even
physically.
more. Yeah.
Even more.
Yeah.
What do you do to train mentally? Especially in training and then leading up to like you're in fight week.
Okay. I'm a big believer in like visualization and meditation, right? So I'll wake up, I'll meditate, kind of imagine how the fight's gonna go, feeling my mouthpiece, the gloves, the shorts, the shoes, the crowd, what temperature it is in there, and I'll try to visualize, right? See everything that could possibly happen. Okay, he's aggressive. I'm moving. I'm controlling the angles. I'm jabbing. Or he's more on the back foot. Okay, I'm applying pressure. My hands are up. I'm catching. I'm countering. I try to visualize and see the fight playing out. And then when I come here, I try to put it in action. Like, okay, what am I going to do? Like each shadow boxing round will have a purpose. Like, okay, this round, I'm going to be the aggressor. So I'm walking. I'm on the back foot. I'm pressing. I'm countering. Whatever situation that could happen, you always want to be prepared for. So you try to visualize. You of course want to do your homework too, especially with TCL. You can look at a team. Like I'll look at the Phoenix Fury. Like, okay, I know we're going against LA next week on June 1st, right? I'll look at my weight class and be like, okay, let me see what he's working with. Let me see the style. He likes to counterpunch. He likes to be aggressive. He's a southpaw. He's a slick southpaw. He likes to keep that distance. So homework as well, kind of just studying who you're actually fighting. And then visualization, preparing for it, getting ready for any situation that could happen, right? Because I like to think of old school things, right? So like I'd like to, in my mind, I put it in gladiator terms, right? We are gladiators. At the end of the day, we're going in the ring trying to survive. And a lot of the times in gladiator times, it meant death, right? Like it's to the death. You lose, you will not say bye to your family. Right. Thank God I get to go home and still see my siblings and my mom and dad, things like that. But it's, if you look at the way samurai used to train, gladiators, conquerors, things like that, they had to keep a sharp mind. Like Miyamoto Musashi, he's one of the most famous samurai of all time. He believed in a life of solitude. Like he wouldn't hang out with anybody. He would write poems, he'd meditate, and then all he knew was training. All he knew was discipline and that focus. And then when you have that discipline and focus, you're unbeatable. Like there's a quote from Bruce Lee that I love. He says, the successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus, right? So you don't have to be the strongest, you don't have to be the fastest, but if you have focus and you can time, you can implement your game plan, you'll be successful in the art of war. Does that make sense?
Yes, 100%.
Beautiful.
I love that. I love you said that. I actually seen you post it the other day, and
I do love
it
that.
resonated with me a lot. Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think I say that all the time, that we are modern day gladiators.
That's exactly what it
like
is.
literally, like, and it's so crazy when you think about it. Like, to this day, people go and stand around. You know, back then it was just a circle and
a coliseum.
Or even before then it was just
literally
circle and dirt.
In the
I read
dirt,
in the dirt. I read this. You know why it was a ring? It used to be a ring. They used to buy a ring.
A circle?
And then they I read facts about this the other day, but they talked about why they turn it into a ring and stuff like that. But I'll have to find it and send it to you. It's actually really cool. It's really cool. It's like, I'm talking like when boxing started, and then like the evolution of it going. Yes, exactly. It's really cool. But anyway, they used to fight in a ring. But like before, it was just you're fighting in like a ring in the dirt, you know. And people like, it's so savage to think. Even to this day, people come around and stand around this whatever ring, cage, whatever people are fighting in, and watch them beat each other up.
That's exactly what it is. They used to do it back. They used to give the fans drinks, right? They're entertained. They're a little,
Isn't it so funny that we love that shit?
And then the people in the ring, right? They're hearing the crowd go crazy.
Yes.
Get them, and they have that adrenaline.
This has been in us.
It's a primal thing.
Forever.
It's instinctive.
Yes.
It's primal. Like we have to go in there and assert our dominance. I can't explain it.
And that's why I always say is that this shit ain't a game. Like you said, this was, it used to be to the death.
Yeah.
And it's the only reason we don't kill each other is because there's a referee.
Yeah, there's a referee who will stop it, right? But it's savage.
Other than that, when that switch turns off, it's the only thing stopping you is the ref.
Literally, you have to keep going until the ref says stop. When the ref says stop, cool, it's over. You won. You can congratulate your opponent like, hey, good work. But before that, kind of looking at him like, like, shit, it's me or you, bro. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And it ain't gonna be me.
Yeah, exactly. It's me or you. I have to feed my family. You have to feed yours. At the end of the day, as much as I respect you, you got to respect any fighter,
of course.
But it's me or you at the end of the day.
Exactly. But you really are a student of this game. You know, like you said, you're doing your homework. You're doing all that. That's good. That's what's going to set you apart from the rest.
Thank you.
So do you feel like you have like the mental is a little more scary or crazy doing this whole team thing where you're fighting every other week almost?
I mean, it is. You have to be focused. That's the number one thing as far as like staying with the team. You have to be focused because you fight 1 week, then you fight the next week. So you have to stay on weight. Yeah, exactly. You have to eat right. You have to do that. But the actual adrenaline, I haven't had a pro fight, so I can't compare it to that. I've had amateur fights where I'm, shaking in my boots, legs shaking. I'm like, oh my God, God protect me. But it's something that calms me down is I have a team, so I have people that kind of have my back. Like we're all pumping each other up. So before I fight, my team will be like, "Yo, go Aiden." So that helps a little bit. I'm not like alone. Does that make sense? And then I only go one round. I'm like, okay, Aiden, it's not a long time. Just for 3 minutes, you have to be perfect, right? You have to jab, you have to have focus. After 3 minutes, nobody cares, right? You can do whatever. You can go screw up, mess, like nobody cares. But those 3 minutes, I'm locked in. I have to be perfect.
Yep.
So it eases my mind a little bit there.
For sure. I'm sure that I guarantee that energy from the camaraderie with your team.
Yeah.
Because like even like being like fighting, like if you ever like fought on the same card as a couple teammates, that is nice. Literally. So like this, when you guys are all just getting each other ready, it's got to be like
because it's like my friend, then him, then me, then boom. It's like if we start winning back to back. He wins, I win. It's a team like go.
The energy.
Yeah, you're just screaming. And
it gives you
intense.
like a sense of security. You feel safe, even though it's still a fight. You're not safe, but you just feel it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you got the team, right? It's like, okay, worst comes to worst. If I lose my round, my teammate better win his round.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Because it is tough because if you're that last fight, kind of like I said, you're in the overtime round, and it's you. It may feel like your whole team's on your back, but at least you have someone to support. You have that motivation. So if you're tired, you're like, oh, but then you hear your teammates going crazy. You're like, I have to win, and it gives you an extra drive, an extra push, something you didn't know you had.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, of course, absolutely. I love it. I love the whole team thing. I love the mentality thing, the studying. It's all necessary. It really is. Yeah. Tell me, what's been your proudest moment in the ring thus far? It doesn't have to be in TCL. It doesn't be, it could be in your amateurs, whatever. Yeah.
So it's funny because it was just a sparring session.
Okay, and that.
But I would say sparring tank. When I sparred tank, it proved something to myself mentally. Like I remember, I didn't think I was gonna spar tank that day. I kind of just woke up. And then this is the time of the Logan Paul and Mayweather fight. So I was training at City Boxing, a gym a while ago.
So about back in March, I believe.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, November.
Yeah, it was 2021 when this happened, during this scene, right?
Okay.
So I was just training, doing my thing, shadow boxing. And then the owner comes up to my coach at the time, and he's like, hey, Gervonta is outside and he's looking for work. And I heard that and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I'm as big as I was a nerd. Like I knew what moves he liked before. And then they were gonna put one of my friends, Jalen, with him, Jalen Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jalen was like, hey, like listen, I've been in the gym all day. I'm just recovering. Honestly, I'm not in a position to spar Tank. When I spar him, I want to be 100%. I was like, okay. And then the owner's like, who are we gonna get to spar Tank? And I heard that and I was like, I was like, well, listen, I am here. You know, I do know something. And he's like, all right, yeah, you're good. Grab your stuff, meet at this gym, so and so. And I was like, really? So then I'm like, fucking, I'm packing up. I'm calling my dad. I'm like, Dad, I'm about to spar Tank. He's like, really? He's like, I'm at work.
Sorry. Oh shit. Okay.
Oh, my bad. All right. So I'm calling my dad, right? I'm about to spar Tank. I'm like, Dad, I'm about to spar Tank. He's like, really? I'm at work. Give me 1 second. A second later, he's like, all right, I got off. Where is it at? So he called off work. It was a heartwarming moment. So my dad was there. He's different, right? Like I remember I pulled up, I met him. Calvin Ford was there. He's like, hey, this young, you Aiden? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, Gervonta, this young man working. He kind of looked at me and be like, all right. And he went to go get food. He was sitting down. He's just eating Wiener Schnitzel. I like he's literally like chilling, sparring. Like literally nothing, just eating food, chopping it up with his homegirls and all this. And I'm like, he's because it's like young and start warming up. I'm like, all right. I'm warming up this time. He's still eating. I'm like, are we gonna do this? Or like how long is it gonna take him to stretch out? He's done eating, he's like
he's smart.
Gloves on, headgear on, no warm up. His warm up was sparring. I don't know how he did it, but there was no warm up, no stretching, no shadow boxing, eating to train to going.
Wow.
And it was and I'm not gonna lie, I remember it was 5 rounds on, 5 rounds off. So he was going 5 rounds with someone else, and then I would finish him off for 5 rounds.
Okay.
And during the final with the other guy, they're working. I'm kind of like, all right, what is Tank on today? Like, is he like trying to kill or is he working? So he's working, right? He's working a little bit of defense, and then the other guy started talking shit like, come on, Tank, I thought you was the big dog. I thought you was Tank. Tank's all right. Boom. Ooh. Drops him just like that, and I'm like,
oh, you're like, oh, so he being nice.
Yeah. So I was like, and they're like, all right, youngin, you're in. And I walk in, I'm like, legs shaking, and I'm about to shit a brick, right? I'm nervous. God. So the first 2 rounds, I was playing very nice. I'm like, I'm not really trying to hurt him by any means. And then my dad was there, right? And my coach was like, all right, you're doing good. My dad was like, coach, step aside. Like, let me talk to him. And my dad knows me, right? He knows how to get to me. He's like, Aiden, do you want to be great? I'm like, yeah. He's like, every champion at some moment has had a moment where they have to push themselves, take the risk, and prove to themselves that they are the champion, right? He gave me the greatest pep talk of all time. And by the end of it, I'm like, I'm about to beat Tank's ass. Like, I was like, literally, I'm about to cook him. I was like, it's over. Like, I'm about to dominate. So I went out there, and he's still kind of like, on defense, right? And I'm in my mind, I'm stalking. I'm like, I threw a punch, and he threw a little counter. I knew what was about to happen. I played it out. Boom! I caught him with the biggest left hook I've ever thrown in my life, right? I catch him. He's caught off guard. I don't want to say stumbled him, but he's like, whoa, what the hell? You woke him up. Yeah, I woke him up. He's like, whoa. Uh-huh. And he had all of his entourage around the ring. So like, oh, Tank, you're going to let this little kid do like that? As soon as I landed, he has a hard head, by the way. And I punched it. It felt like punching a bowling ball. Yeah. Really? It was like, ding. And I was like, oh, shit. Like I was like, oh, fuck. And then he took it. He's like, he woke up for a second. And he's like, okay. All right, champ. Started stumbling. And I was like, fuck. You got his respect. Yeah, first thing. Pop, pop, pop. And I was like, oh, shit. Here we go. So then I was hurt for a second. Uh-huh. I tried to tie him up, and now he's wild up. He's like trying to break the clinch, and he's coming, and I'm like scattering. I'm like in like skull. Yeah. I'm literally like not about to get touched. I'm not letting him get near me, right? So I'm moving. I'm controlling distance. He slows down a little bit. I'm like, okay. And then we get back to boxing, but now we're like fighting. Like he got that respect to where he can start letting his hands go. He's not just working defense. Now he's like throwing, and I'm getting hit. I'm like, fuck. Mm-hmm. But at that moment, I'm not thinking, oh, you have to win the round. I'm like, bro, you fight or you die. Like literally gladiator times. I have to let my hands go. And after the 5 rounds, I survived, didn't get dropped, did good, earned my respect, right? Really? Yeah, I was so proud of myself, right? So I'm sitting on the ring, I'm kind of gassed. I'm like, and then my dad's taking my headgear off, and I had the gloves on. I was like, no, I need a picture. And then so then I was like, yo, Tank, can I get a pic? He's quiet for a second. I was like, Tank. He's like, oh my god, yeah. And then took the little picture. And then after he was real quiet. He didn't really talk too much, except for that moment where he's like, startled him. Yeah, I got him. And then after that, I remember his coach was like, "Yo, youngin, come here." And then he hands me the first time I've ever been paid for boxing. He paid me, and I was like, really for me? He's like, don't give it to your coach, don't give it to your pops. This is your money. And I literally went in the parking lot and I cried. I didn't know what to do because, I mean, that's my idol, right? That's like, I mean, it's boxing is your favorite boxer. That's like something like being able to spar Canelo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for me, that was a surreal moment. And I showed myself that I can do it. I was able to hang in there with Gervonta, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to say I beat him, right? I'm not going to say he beat me.
Of course.
But I showed to myself that I have the skill to be in there with the top guys.
1000%.
So ever since that moment, that was my proudest achievement. And I've started thinking differently. Like, I was like, okay, you can do this.
I am
You
built
have,
for this.
yeah, I am built for this. So ever since that moment, I was like, okay, that moment, honestly, as cliche as it sounds, I'll have moments where I'll be like, I spar Tank. Like, I'll spar someone else that'll be good, and I'm like, I spar Tank. They're not as good.
Dude, no,
like
that shit will, you should always like take that forever until you spar somebody better than Tank.
Yeah, literally.
Take that shit forever.
That was my single-handedly the proudest moment of my career. And it wasn't even a fight. It was just sparring, but I had to.
Sometimes training will be your proudest, your hardest times. Like, you're
really
never probably gonna have a fight that hard.
I don't think, honestly, I don't think I'm glad there was headgear and 16-ounce gloves. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I might have been a little woozy.
Yeah.
But yeah, my head was pounding. I was out. I was literally out for a week after that. I couldn't train, but it was worth every moment.
100%. Oh my
Changed my
gosh,
life.
I love that story. That would touch me. I was like, little teary eye.
Thank you.
Aiden, who do you want people to remember you by when they hear the name Aiden Zeus Garcia?
I want them to think of an old school fighter, a risk taker, and someone who was for the fans, right? I want to be an entertainer. I want people to see me and love my shows just because of the energy, right? I want to like win, and I want to be sitting in the crowd like, come on, let's go. They're all right. I like to fight for the people. I like to entertain.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to say I fight for myself, but honestly, I wouldn't say that's true. I like to fight for the people that are important to me, right? My family, the people who look up to me, everybody that I meet throughout the life. And when I fight, my only goal is to make them proud at the end of the day. So hopefully, when I'm remembered as a great showman, right? Great, as a great entertainer.
People's champ.
Yeah, the people's champ. That's kind of the goal. I want to be the people's champ that people can look up to. Somewhat like, this is the GOAT status, but Muhammad Ali, right? I'm nowhere near that by any means.
Hey, that's a goal to have.
But yeah, I would love to emulate him because he was bigger than boxing, right? Whatever he said on civil rights issues on this, people listened to him, and he was a boxer, and that's how he expressed himself.
Yes.
So that's somewhat the goal.
Absolutely, I love that. I love that so much. I think you're on the right path to what you want to be. The way you fight, the way you hold yourself, the way you represent your gym, your team, your people. So yeah.
Thank you. That means the world to me. Seriously, I couldn't explain what that means.
You're so young, 20 years old. Not even technically professional record yet. Even though you're fighting these professional fights. What's the end goal here? Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself in 3 years, 5 years? You won't even be in your prime for another 8 years. So
that's true.
Where do you see yourself?
I want to be a champion, of course. Okay. It might not be like there's the quote from the Brandon Moreno, the UFC fighter. It may not be today, may not be tomorrow, but one day I will be champion.
I have no doubt.
Ultimately, I would love to be on the pound for pound list, right? Just to be on the pound for pound list would be a life goal of mine. To be number one, to be up there with Floyd, Terrence Crawford. At the end of the day, if I die and people still talk about me, they're talking about, oh, Aiden Garcia was one of the best fighters. I've done my job, right? Even, and as scary as it is a dangerous sport because CTE, all that, like Muhammad Ali gave his life to the sport, quite literally. At the end of his career, he had Parkinson's, right? Literally. But it is, as much of a sacrifice it's a sacrifice that I'm willing to take because I love the sport, I love the fans, I love the history of it, everything. So I want to go down in history. That's the goal for me. Be a name, not a number. Yeah,
exactly. And fighting those good fights. Like, it's not like flawless, right? You just want to be remembered. Like, absolutely. Mickey Ward, Arturo Gotti,
insane.
Arturo Gotti, historical. One of my favorite fights. I've watched
really?
That's
your favorite?
Over. Yeah. But Arturo Gotti lost, but he's still known. He still goes down in history. So that's what.
Yeah, it doesn't matter too much about like a perfect record, right? But sometimes the best fighters I don't believe had a perfect record. Like Floyd is 15-0. Don't get it wrong, he's one of my favorites.
But Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali's lost 5 times. Yes, Mike Tyson. Exactly. You name the Manny Pacquiao. All these guys that go down in history as legends. Yep. They weren't all undefeated, but that's because you fight the best. When you fight the best, someone's got to come out on top, and it won't be you every time, but the people will remember those stories.
Exactly. It's the honor to compete with the best because that shows that you're the best also.
Yeah, absolutely, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I always say, like, when people come up short, but they have a dog of a fight. Like, don't be down on yourself. To have that fight is a win.
Yeah.
To be able to say you competed, you fought in a fight like that is a win in and of itself.
I agree.
Forget the hand raise at the end of the day.
It's the honor. Like
Yes.
Conor Ben versus Chris Eubank. That fight was a dog fight, and even though Chris Eubank won, you got to look at Conor Ben and be like, yo, he went out there and he did his thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's tough.
It,
like Manny Pacquiao versus Marquez. Marquez won, but Manny Pacquiao will be remembered, right? It's
100%.
It's a tough sport, but you got to be a part of it to love it.
Couldn't agree more, champ. Some fun questions.
Okay.
Who is your dream sparring partner, dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
Yeah.
I'll say. You said who? You said your client. You said your client. All right. I'll say Sugar Ray Leonard.
Sugar Ray Leonard.
Yeah,
okay.
he's good.
Okay.
Yeah, that's something that I would love to emulate and learn from.
I love that. Awesome. What is one song that is always going to be on your training playlist, no matter what?
In the Dark by YG. I already had it. Yeah. In the Dark by YG is. Yeah. When I want to hear it, it's like I don't know. Zeus awakens.
Zeus comes out.
Yeah, Zeus comes out. It's like, you know what I mean? It's just not so funny no more.
All right, y'all. He's putting us on. I'm about to go play this shit as soon as I get in the car.
I'm telling you.
In the Dark by YG.
And I know bangers.
Yes.
All right.
Aiden, thank you so much for your time.
Of course.
It's been an absolute honor to sit down and talk with you because I know that this is literally just the beginning for you. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I need an autograph and I need a picture.
Hey, funny. I'm humble.
But yeah, chopping it up with you is amazing. Before I let you go, please tell people where they can follow your journey and everything like that. Let people know because I'm telling you guys, you don't want to blink on this young man's career. He's literally just getting warmed up.
Thank you. You're gassing me up. You're gonna get my head a little too big. All right. But my Instagram is Aiden S. Garcia. All right. They call me Zeus. I'm fighting on TCL. Again, we're going against LA on June 1st. So tune into that. I'll put on a show for you guys. And just follow me as my career goes. Catch me on Instagram. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the ring.
Let's go. Thank you so much, Aiden Zeus Garcia.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to see you at the top, champ.
Of course. Thank you, Destiny.
Of course. This is In the Corner with Destiny McCubbin. Real fighters, real stories, real talk. I'll see you next round.